What's going on, guys? This is let's go straight into it. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you are loving yourself, taking care of yourself. I just got back from the gym. Didn't want to go, but feel much better. Really glad that I did. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and talk about sealed products, do kind of a recap of everything we've seen from Sun and Moon all the way up to Scarlet Violet, the current sets. So let's go ahead and get into it. Sun and Moon. Should you buy anything in Sun and Moon? Has that boat kind of already sailed? Has that ship already sailed? You know, in my opinion, I think there's still a lot of growth. I think Pokemon's going to be a really strong franchise moving forward. I do think that there are sets like Cosmic Eclipse and Team Up that a lot of people have had at retail. When I went to the trade night the other night, I was talking to an individual who was buying a lot of Sun and Moon when it was really just like 80 bucks, 100 bucks a booster box. And they sold, I think, for triple or quadruple that. But if you look at the box prices now, you would have been so much better off holding on to that product. Now, it was a different market then, but people are going to say that in the next 2-3 years. They're going to say, oh, well, it was a different market then. It's very bullish right now, and people are still leaving a lot of modern sealed product on the shelves. They're still like, there's so much stuff out there. Guys, people are opening product like crazy. People are hoarding product like crazy. People are more into investing in Pokemon product than they've ever been. I think we're going to see history repeat itself with a lot of modern sets, but should you be buying at the prices that Sun and Moon's at right now? Unfortunately, I don't think you have a lot of choices when it comes to if you want to not complete those sets. Obviously, mastering those sets would be very expensive, very difficult. It's probably cheaper to just buy a box and have it nicely displayed and even have it as a part of your sealed investment portfolio than trying to master these sets. A box like Team Up, you know, if I was done with my other collection goals, I would probably want to buy a box of Team Up. I do have a box of Celestial Storm. I've got my box of Evolutions, which I've put up for sale. I don't really care about selling it now. I put it up for sale to offset some other cards that I purchased. Since then, I've already paid off my credit card on those cards and no longer need the funds. But Evolutions, the same could be said about Evolutions. It's 700 now, but Evolutions was all over the place. You know, before Sun and Moon, XY Evolutions was everywhere. You could pick it up anywhere. Nobody wanted it. There's still a lot of product out there, but even buying this box at 700, now the box is going, I mean, you can get it for 700, but we're seeing some sales for Evolutions booster boxes now, and this goes even before Sun and Moon, so we're going back a little bit further, but Evolutions is a staple set. A lot of people like Evolutions. A lot of people will end up buying Evolutions, even at that $700 price point, maybe even more than that. We are seeing sales of $1,000 recently on an Evolutions booster box, and this isn't pump, because at the end of the day, even if I sold my box, I would kind of, after fees, break even on what I put into it. So, do I think it's worth paying more? Probably not, because the hits on an XY Evolutions box are really not worth buying into the box. I think that was just one of my, hype FOMO purchases where I bought Evolutions because I was like, oh, this was a Charizard reprint box. Whereas now looking back on it, I'm like, these cards aren't worth really anything. Is this something that I want to hold long term when there are so many other good options out there? I mean, Evolving Skies even is probably a better option than that, even though it's probably terrible hit rates. There are so many cards that people want in that set. Obviously, the Umbreon VMAX and the Rayquaza VMAX and all those EV Evolutions are a lot more tantalizing than what's in this XY Evolutions box. So even at $400, $350 for an Evolving Skies box, that might be a better long-term investment than an Evolutions box. But all that to say that these markets are going to move up. But if you want to buy this stuff, even I have had to buy at these premiums because I want this stuff in my collection. So if you really want Sun and Moon booster boxes in your collection, I don't think they're going to dip at any point anytime soon. I think you should go ahead and try and cross those off to get them in your sealed portfolio. Moving forward, let's go into Sword and Shield, right? There are some sets that are still kind of dead in the water. I don't think any of them are going to be dead in the water for very much longer. Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, Shining Fates. There were some things mentioned in a comment a couple weeks back, and I do want to address that because even though those are kind of dead sets right now, Vivid Voltage, even with the fat Pikachu and the crazy premiums that were going for that fat Pikachu when the hype was real for like a PSA 10 fat Pikachu, that came down a lot for the Pikachu VMAX. So, you know, I think it's fair to say that people were all in on that set when it came out. Why is it dead in the water right now? It's still a great set. You could still pull that fat Pikachu, which I still don't own. Phenomenal card in that set. I really like Vivid Voltage. I like the colors of Vivid Voltage. I like the style of that box. And I would dare to say that it's probably a smart investment to buy a case of Vivid Voltage if you can get a really good deal on it. I can't mention this enough. TikTok is changing the game for collectors. It might not be great for reselling and sellers. It might not be great in the future when boxes are still, you know, going for dirt cheap prices because of TikTok discounts. People say, oh, the TikTok discounts are over. They're far from over. My wife is still getting unlimited coupons in her TikTok account, and I'm trying to figure out, like, should I be making a lot of moves with these TikTok deals, considering the fact that, you know, some of these sets are still really cheap? You can still get Vivid Voltage. It's a perfect example. You can still get Vivid Voltage for around $80, $85. That seems like a no-brainer to me. Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign were at that same price point, guys. Nobody wanted Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign. I was, you know, in the hobby, and it was, you know, a very vivid memory for me going into the shop, and they had all this Chilling Reign and all this Vivid Voltage, and all I wanted was Brilliant Stars. You know, I wanted Evolving Skies. I was not the least bit concerned, which is the same reason that I put this up on the thumbnail. Brilliant Stars is starting to take a move, and this was sitting on Pokemon Center for a while at 140. Now, granted, you don't want to pay that 140, but I think it's going to be going up from here. I actually got this extra box. I only have, I think, 1 or 2 other boxes of Brilliant Stars. This is a set that I really wanted to buy a case of, but prices just haven't been moving down enough for me to get a case. But when I got my Van Gogh Pikachu, my friends were like, why would you buy a booster box from Pokemon Center? One, because the Van Gogh Pikachu was a free promo thrown in there, and so I feel like if I were to sell it, which I haven't and I'm not, it would offset the cost of these a lot. And because at the end of the day, I really liked Brilliant Stars. I never pulled the Charizard, so I'm a little traumatized from Brilliant Stars. But also, I probably didn't open enough packs. Again, if you're gonna try and pull these cards, brace yourself. You're gonna have to open a lot of product. That's why I love 151. It seems to have been a lot kinder to me in comparison to all the Sword and Shield sets. But getting back into Sword and Shield, it's sets that we're looking at. Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage seem like buys. They're buys, they're staple sets. As far as Pokemon Go and Shining Fates and Crown Zenith, I have a lot of Crown Zenith. I think Crown Zenith is a great staple. I know we're not going chronological here, but I'm just firing off and trying to be as efficient as possible. But Crown Zenith, when that came out, I thought it was the end-all be-all set for Sword and Shield. Unfortunately, I am learning the hard way that when they print a set to Oblivion, it makes it so diluted. It dilutes the value so much when you've got product everywhere, when everybody has stuff. When at the trade night, you've got kids with stacks of PSA 10 Crown Zenith cards. They become valueless, you know? So I don't know how that's going to change with Crown Zenith moving forward. I still think it's a huge fan favorite. It's still a fan favorite of mine. The Legendary Dogs, the Deoxys artworks. There's so much going on in Crown Zenith. Suicune is one of my favorite cards from Crown Zenith. And I highly recommend buying the PSA 10 singles right now because they're dirt cheap. Anyways, back to Sword and Shield. A lot of these sets that are cheap right now, history repeats itself. I think we're going to end up at some point, reprints or not, we're going to see these sets that were very popular at one point. They're going to be popular again with newer collectors that are coming in that are looking back at Sword and Shield for the most value. They're going to pop in and be like, you know what? Why wouldn't I buy Vivid Voltage? It's a box like these other boxes. I'm taking a little bit of the similar approach with One Piece. There's a set, I think it's a Kingdom of something, I don't know, but it's the cheapest set in One Piece right now. I'm not sure if it's 02 or 04, but it's the cheapest set in One Piece right now. And, you know, part of me is like, I feel like there's value here. Regardless what's in here, One Piece is getting very popular. When I see a set that's ignored and not super inflated, despite how, you know, valuable some of the pulls are in some of these inflated sets, when you're comparing to One Piece or even Pokemon. I don't want to touch sets that are really, really inflated. The same reason why I haven't bought any more Evolving Skies. A lot of us that are experienced, that have been in here long enough, we are not going to pay those prices for something that was around, that was abundant when we were collecting that stuff, right? But for people coming in, there's not a lot of options, right? You have to make a decision whether you want to pay the premium for these boxes or not. I think at the end of the day, prices aren't going to fall for boxes that are higher up. Everyone's hoarding product right now. So even when people are buying a $400 box of, Evolving Skies or One Piece, they're probably going to sit on that product. And I say this loosely with One Piece because we don't know what's going to happen with One Piece. But I do want to tie that in at the very end here because I want to start looking at other TCGs and see, is there great value in other TCGs? If you haven't looked at One Piece yet, the cards are phenomenal. I still don't own anything One Piece, but I think it's a really cool card game. And it's something that I think I'm going to probably get into at some point. That 5th set is crazy. Anyways, Sword and Shield. So Vivid Voltage looks good. Darkness Ablaze looks good. Now we're looking at Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike around that $130, $140 mark. I still think that there's value there. I just feel like if you were collecting in the time when it was $80, $90, it's going to be really, really hard to pull the trigger on that, right? If you're coming in and you just want to complete all the boxes, sure, go for it. Go for it for your display piece because you don't have a lot of options here. Prices have moved up and it is what it is. I think that this happened with Chilling Reign more so than Fusion Strike because Chilling Reign just was a set that no one wanted. I don't say that lightly. There's Blaziken, and there are a couple other great alt arts in that set. I know that I should pay tribute to the other alt arts in that set. It's not fair to always harp on the ultimate chase cards of the sets, but that's just what I can remember right off the top of my head. They release a lot of these sets every year. There are so many cards, in every set. It's very hard to remember every specific alt art in these sets. But Chilling Reign has a lot more than just the Blaziken going for it. But again, pull rates were terrible. People did not have a fun time with Chilling Reign. It was deemed chilling pain by all of my buddies at GameStop. They were like, I highly don't advise that you buy Chilling Reign. I had a terrible time with it. And there are people who had a great time with it. I like Chilling Reign because of that Blaziken. It was really a benchmark for the value of Chilling Reign to me. So my gut when Chilling Reign was $80 was to buy a case of Chilling Reign. Now at this time, there was a lot of FOMO in the hobby. There was a lot of hype. So that was pushing me to make that decision. But looking back, that would have been a really, really smart decision on my part to have bought a lot of Chilling Reign. Now, there was also a collector that I saw a video of that had a room full of Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike because no one wanted them. This is what I like to call contrarian investing, right? It's just like the stock market, right, guys? This stuff is going to be intermingled, whether you want to accept it or not. Investing in Pokemon is becoming more mainstream, more accepted, and as much as other people might hate, oh, they're getting clicks and views because they're talking about investing in Pokemon, well, if you enjoy numbers and you enjoy looking at this stuff and it can inform other people and help them make better decisions, then yes, it's going to be a very popular topic, and we're going to mingle that into the channel every now and again. Yeah, there were some crazy deals to be had, just a year and a half ago that just can't be had now. Does that mean there's still value in these sets? Absolutely. I still think most sets are going to be, a price that most of them are going to hit very soon is going to be $200. I think a lot of sets are going to hit the $200 mark soon, and I don't think that that's at all that crazy. So if you look at Sword and Shield base, the very first Sword and Shield set, base set Sword and Shield booster boxes are $200, right? When I was buying Sword and Shield base ETBs, people were telling me, dude, why did you buy all these Sword and Shield base ETBs? They're not going to be worth anything. Well, it turns out all of my Sword and Shield base ETBs that I even delisted because I was like, these are never going to sell. I'm an idiot. I bought into a base set that doesn't have much going for it. Well, now, Sword and Shield base is a trending topic. People are wanting to buy Sword and Shield base. They're wanting to start on their journey, just like I did with Sword and Shield. They're wanting to collect all of these sets. Now, I was lucky enough that I was on the forefront of Sword and Shield, and even some of Sun and Moon, but a lot of other people coming in now to Scarlet and Violet, they're having to catch up with those sets, which is not going to be fun, both financially or just trying to find these deals, looking on eBay, Mercari, TikTok, whatever, and then making sure you don't get scammed, get some kind of resealed product. There's a lot of that fraudulent stuff going around, so you want to be very careful. You want to shop with credible people. But yeah, Sword and Shield base now trending up. That's a $200 box right there, maybe even $220. How much longer is it going to be till all the other sets follow in that same direction? They all have pretty good chase cards in them. They're all, I would say, pretty equally ranked. Even Astral Radiance, which is kind of sitting around right now, and we're still seeing that in a lot of sets, right? If you remember, these later sets, like Silver Tempest is probably an anomaly because it's a later set, but it's also peaking a little bit in value right now. But it has a Lugia in it, and people love Lugia. Lugia is one of the top graded, fandom cards in the hobby. So yes, that set's going to do really well. The same thing with Brilliant Stars. It's a no-brainer. It's got a Charizard V alt art that's phenomenal, that it's a great artwork. It's one of my favorite cards in the modern TCG. So it's no wonder with those sets. But then when you have sets that are just random sets like Vivid Voltage, where it's got Pikachu, which is a mascot, but there's less hype in that set, I still think that set's going to end up hitting $200. So if you're thinking about making some contrarian investments, I would say Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze. Now, Darkness Ablaze, that's a tough one for me because it really only has the VMAX Charizard going for it in that set. We've had a lot of pump of Charizard going on with Sword and Shield. That did not help with Darkness Ablaze. There is a Scizor in Darkness Ablaze. I believe there's a really nice Scizor. There's also some really nice rainbow full arts or hyper rares. I believe there's a Salamence that I picked up. I love that card. Some of the full arts are absolutely phenomenal, and it'll be interesting to see down the road what happens with full art values, and that could really help prop up the value of some of these boxes too. So again, contrarian wise, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, right? If you have a really good job, you have really good income, you might not care about, making some extra cash in Pokemon. But for those of us that are really in the medium income bracket, medium salary level, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, it helps to have some extra cash coming in. And if you can make some plays, put, $80, $190 into a booster box, and then it's worth $200 down the road, you're going to have to deal with sales fees, you're going to have to deal with taxes, you're going to have to deal with shipping. But if you can still chop $50 out of that after a year, and a lot of stuff that I've bought has come around, 30, 40% after dealing with everything of gain. So it's really a great way to invest your money. Now, my stock market portfolio is also starting to turn around. So it's awesome because I'm seeing Pokemon continue to dominate and do really well. And then I'm seeing the stock market kind of come up. This could be an amazing year for both speculative collectible investments and traditional investments. And I'm super stoked and excited for that. Even the real estate market might cool off and come down a little bit. So that'll be really exciting, especially because I would like to move our family as it expands into a bigger home at some point. But we'll deal with that down the road. Yeah, Sword and Shield. What else is notable here? Back to Astral Radiance. We're seeing that, in some extra gimmicky products. I've been opening the Heavy Hitters Sam's Club box a lot, which I think that the Sam's Club box is really one of the best value products that you can invest in as a sealed investment. Someone left a comment last night that they got a Leafeon VMAX, that they got something else incredible from Evolving Skies, 2 incredible Evolving Skies cards, and then another alt art. They said they got 3 alt arts out of that box. So I think I'm going to end up opening another one of those soon. Maybe we'll do it on the Wednesday Night Live. We've got our 151 on the way. Still need to touch base on that. But yeah, basically everything in Sword and Shield is looking really good, guys. Everything is looking like it's a strong buy. Even Brilliant Stars at 140. Yo, I bought Brilliant Stars at 140 off Pokemon Center. So I even believe in putting 140 into this box and that it's worth it. So I'm also definitely I will consider buying a case of Brilliant Stars. I think it's going to do really well. People are going to want to chase that alt-art Charizard down the road, and people who have big YouTube channels and are streaming a lot and opening product like it's nothing, they're not going to care what they have to pay to get more boxes of this product. No one is going to be paying wholesale as time moves on and these products go out of print, which Sword and Shield products are very close to be going out of print. Okay, we have to keep in mind that Pokemon is going to focus on the newest set and printing the newest set and getting that demand out to the collectors. So I wouldn't worry so much about reprints. A lot of people bring up reprints, and I think it's like people just don't want to invest in sealed product. And I get that, that's fine, but it's gonna work. And I'm confident enough to say that I will show you down the road that sealed product investment does work very well. Can you store way more in singles? Can you sell way faster and pay less on shipping in singles? Yes, but as a set it and forget it, staple index fund benchmark investment, Pokemon sealed booster boxes tend to do really well. That's all I'm saying. You are not going to make it rich doing this unless you are really spending, I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars here on sealed product. And there are channels like that showcase their mountains of sealed product. I'm not a channel like that. I have a closet. I have some cases stacked up. It is what it is. But I am excited to track and see what happens with those. And I think that they are, in a lot of ways, less risky than dealing with the stock market and what could happen if there's some kind of economic collapse. Because even in the turmoil of the markets this year, Pokemon has still remained, products have still been going up and still gaining value. So I'm not saying that we're all going to be millionaires from sealed collecting, but I do think there are some plays to be made. And especially if you're going to local trade events and you're picking this up for cash, local, wholesale maybe from your favorite shop, I don't know, or even making private deals online to get this product for cheap and not deal with fees on eBay and taxes, then you can go to local shops, unload this stuff for cash or trade up with it. I mean, there's a lot of moves to be made if you can go to local events and meet up with people in person. Okay, that being said, let's see. Crown Zenith, I would also say, is kind of another contrarian investment there. Crown Zenith is also a special set, right? I don't like the idea of investing as much in special sets. And that even applies with 151. I love 151. I think it's a little bit of an anomaly because it's an OG special set and it does have Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise, and that is a big deal to me personally. So I think that set's going to do really well. But Crown Zenith, as amazing as it is, with the hodgepodge of alternate arts, with the low pricing it has right now, I think it was printed so heavily because there was such a high demand for it that it could be like another Evolutions 2.0. It could really take a while for Crown Zenith to pick up. Walmart was giving away Crown Zenith at $20, $25 a box for the Pikachu boxes. That's a price I got with a connection to the shops, right? That was when it first released. So the fact that it's going for those like wholesale dirt cheap prices for that Pikachu V box, that kind of sucks to see that. It's great that people are able to get that product, but the fact that it was recently selling for that, you know, it's anybody's guess what's going to happen with Crown Zenith. I don't feel like it's a safe space to invest in Crown Zenith, and I have a lot of Crown Zenith. I have ETBs stacked on ETBs. I have Pikachu V boxes. I've got Pokemon Center Crown Zenith. I have so much Crown Zenith, and honestly, I think a lot of people do. So I don't know if that's the best one investment to invest in. I think Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze are way smarter contrarian plays. Okay, now let's look at Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance has a lot of amazing artworks. Let's not forget about the hype behind the Machamp V and Astral Radiance, right? That drove that set, right? Everyone was on Astral Radiance. I didn't care about Astral Radiance. I still don't care about Astral Radiance. But am I willing to say, hey, this is a good set? This is a set that shouldn't be ignored at the prices it's at. This is a set that, like Vivid Voltage, is an $80 set with a lot more to offer, I would argue. That's a contrarian investment. That's a good play to make, in my opinion. In fact, I may even put my money where my mouth is. I may even go ahead and order a Vivid Voltage case, a Darkness Ablaze case, an Astral case, because all that stuff is solid. Now, Lost Origin, Giratina, and Aerodactyl. Of course Lost Origin was going to do numbers. Okay? Now, again, Lost Origin, was it a set that I cared for? No, it's not a set that I care for. I literally could care less about Lost Origin. But someone contacted me about a private deal. They had some friends with Troll and Toad. I haven't made any deals with that person since. It almost seems like after that one deal we made, they were like, you know what, this isn't even worth it. But I paid $540 cash for a case of Lost Origin. That's one of the best deals I've ever gotten in terms of buying sealed products. And that gave me a benchmark of what I want to pay moving forward for stuff like that. And when you're at Collecticon and big trade nights and conventions, trust me, you can find booster boxes of products for $90, $80, $85, and you don't have to get a case. You can just stock up on them at that price point. But for me, like $500 is really, that's the price point that I want to pay for a case of most products that are kind of sitting. So let's go ahead and get in Scarlet and Violet. I think I've covered enough on Sword and Shield. I will say Evolving Skies, last but not least, Evolving Skies is a fantastic set. Don't get me wrong. If you're going to open it, do not pay the kind of premiums that people are asking for Evolving Skies. Just buy singles. Buy an ETB. Take things very, very, very slow, and I highly recommend buying singles because it's just a ridiculously expensive set right now. But for collecting and sealed product, do I think there's still room for Evolving Skies to run? Why would I still be sitting on my 11, 12 booster boxes if I didn't think Evolving Skies had way more room to run? As we've seen historically, booster boxes, sealed product, untouched, untampered product that's authentic tends to do very, very well in Pokemon. I think that Evolving Skies is going to be $1,000 a box. I think it's going to be $1,000 a box. I don't think there's anything anybody can do about it. It's even on this channel. Every live where I feel like it, I just open a couple of my sleeves that I accumulated, you know, back when Evolving Skies was cheap and I could get $4 packs. Okay, I've got all my sleeves over here. I'm opening all this stuff. People are going to continue to open all of these sets and enjoy the product. There was even a slight restock, I think, or a reprint on Evolving Skies, and it did not even do a dent in the price. The price is still the same. The price will continue to be the same or go up. Evolving Skies is not going to fall off. I would argue that the singles, like the Umbreon, because there's 10,000 of them in a 10, Umbreon is way more likely to fall off. But again, when I was at the trade night, more people were oogling over my Umbreon and Rayquaza in 10s, which my Rayquaza is a terrible 10. It's off-center as heck. But they were oogling over that way more than they were my Gold Stars and my Crystals. This is the stuff that people want. They want modern alt arts. I would say that that's one of the best investments aside from sealed collecting is all the popular alt arts. Go to trade nights. Bring some cash. You know, bring some bulk cards that you don't want. Try to trade up for those alt arts because those alt arts are the future of the hobby, in my opinion. They're the future of bartering, trade, and kind of the economy of the hobby and making deals. They're very liquid. Okay, so yeah, with Evolving Skies, I think it's going to go up. I don't think there's anything we can do about it. I would love if I had a chance to buy it for less. I would love that. But it's highly unlikely. And with my cost basis, it doesn't make any sense for me to pick up more. But there was a time when I considered it $300 if someone would accept an offer for $300. There was a time I considered maybe buying Evolving Skies at $300 a box, because if it hits $1,000 a box, there's still a great gain you can make on that. And Evolving Skies really is the pinnacle of Sword and Shield sealed investments, in my opinion. In terms of its stability and the growth that it's probably going to have on top of the other sets. As far as contrarian and value investing, Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, maybe Crown Zenith, Astral Radiance, definitely. Lost Origin, I think it's creeping up, but I think there's still deals on every single set, really, if you're just watching auctions. Okay, moving forward, Scarlet and Violet. So what's funny about the Lost Origin story, where I bought the Lost Origin case for $540, was that I went into Scarlet and Violet feeling like, you know what? I've been overpaying on products. I am not doing this anymore. I sent somebody an offer for $500 for a case of Scarlet and Violet, and I got grilled for that. I remember people in the comments, sellers selling that product, wholesaling that product in the comments, were like, dude, like, you should have known better. Shame on you for trying to get a set like this, you know, when the new block is going to come out for $500. What is Scarlet and Violet going for now? What's it going for? It's going for that same price. It's going for nothing. Nobody wants Scarlet Violet Base. What I am going to say, though, and I did buy a lot of Scarlet Violet Base still. I ended up paying basically $100 a box. I've got 4 cases of it. So one could say, oh, it's in Orion's interest to pump Scarlet Violet Base. But what people don't realize is that, again, history will repeat itself with these sets. Even though the printers are going burr, it's still going to repeat itself with these sets, in my humble opinion. So what happened with Sword and Shield, which was getting printed to oblivion, don't forget, Sword and Shield was getting printed almost just as much as Scarlet and Violet, maybe even more after the reprints. But Sword and Shield base no one wanted it. No one cared about it. Now it's a $200 box. The same could be said of Scarlet Violet base. I personally like Scarlet Violet base. I think Scarlet Violet base actually has a lot going for it. Scarlet Violet base has the Miriam for all of the waifu fans. Scarlet Violet base has, I have a bearded dragon. It's obvious that I like reptiles. It's obvious that I like dragons. Charizard's one of my favorites. I just bought a PSA 10 Charizard. He's one of my all-time favorites. Okay, so when it comes to Corridon and Miraidon, they're no different. They are just really cool reptilian Pokemon that I love them. I can't explain it. I just love them. I love the prehistoric and the future look, and I love their alt arts, and I think they're super undervalued. But the same goes for the set as a whole. Whether you're buying singles or buying the sealed product, I think that Scarlet Violet is a great place to start to stock up. I think Scarlet and Violet, it's probably between Scarlet Violet base and 151 is like my two favorites. Even though, if we move forward, we're already seeing growth on Paldea Evolved. Now, one part of me feels like Paldea Evolved is doing so well because people think it has some kind of connection with Evolving Skies. Like, whenever there's the word evolved, right? I feel like there's some weird correlation there. You guys control me on that. Feel free. I'm down to get opposing viewpoints, but I just feel like it's kind of funny that Paldea Evolved is doing so well. I feel like people are touting it as one of the better sets, but I feel like there's a correlation between just the wording used in the set names. But Paldea Evolved is already moving. I think it's around 110, 120, maybe, yeah, I want to say that. I don't want to say 130, but I've got a case of that as well. My plan with Scarlet and Violet was not to wait till the timing was right. Because now if you want to buy a Paldea Evolved, you're paying $120. Nobody wants to pay that for a set that just came out. What I did was I just paid the $100 a box when it came out. Could you get it on TikTok for $80, $90 a box? Maybe. I don't know. But I went and just took the safe route. Just buying sealed investment. It's really not hard. It is actually super boring. There's nothing sexy about sealed investing. But I do think it works, and there's a lot more people on the bandwagon than there used to be, which makes it, I feel like, a safer space. So, base, you've got Paldea. Paldea's moving. You've got the Iono. That's really the big chase card in Paldea Evolved. But there's also so many other great hits in Paldea Evolved. I think Iono is really the major one. Also, Paldea Evolved has something else going for it. I do want to say, I'll bring these up too, because these do matter to me. Scarlet Violet base had these awesome blisters for the Arcanine. So I have a bunch of these. I think these are really nice. The introduction of the Cosmo Hollow foil, bringing that back, bringing that OG feel back, and that Arcanine is phenomenal. But Paldea Evolved had these promos, these Pikachu promos, which this is what made me love Paldea Evolved. This Pikachu promo is outstanding. We've got a representation of our new starters, but they're still keeping it OG with Pikachu. I love these, and I think they're going to go up in value. I had a bunch of Charmanders. I sold those at Collecticon. I got a premium on them, and we're about to get into that. I wish I had more of that. The stuff like these, the 151 promo and the Obsidian Flames promo, these GameStop promos seem to do really, really well. So definitely with these sets, make sure to try and go into GameStop and get your free promo. I actually have to start my membership back up again. It ended, and I'm still on the fence of like, do I need GameStop anymore? I mean, it's so cheap to get product online. I don't even think I need GameStop anymore. But this is a reason that you might want GameStop. This is one of the only reasons that you may still want to go in the GameStop. And honestly, you don't need a membership to do that. So go in when a set drops, buy a sleeve pack, and pick up these promos, because these promos could be invaluable down the road. Oh man, I can't wait to get into these other promos. So then you have, and I don't have my Charmanders here, but you have Obsidian Flames. I still have a case. I've got like 7 Obsidian Flames ETBs. Obsidian Flames is almost better to invest in the ETBs than it is the booster boxes, right? Obsidian Flames came out. People were half and half about it. I was like, dope, lots of Charizard action. Most people were like, I hate this. So much Charizard action. But what's interesting about Obsidian Flames, that I saw another channel point out, and I applaud them for this. I forget the name of the channel, but they were talking about just the ETBs. Why this set is a Charizard set, but it should be a Charmander set. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. The Charmander is holding such good value. That Charmander promo is pressed up against the window. It's holding such good value that one could argue at $20 for that card or $25 for that card, buying cases of the ETBs makes way more sense than the booster boxes. You've got the packs, but you've got the reassurance of the value of that Charmander promo. So when it comes to Obsidian Flames, it's a little bit of an anomaly with investments. Same as Paldea Evolved, even though these Pikachus are not holding up nearly as well as the Charmander promos. I don't know why these Charmander promos are doing so phenomenally well, but I would highly recommend with Obsidian Flames to just buy cases of the ETBs. You've got that awesome artwork with Charmander on the front of it. It looks fantastic. It's phenomenal. But again, as a staple investment, the regular booster boxes are probably the way to go. I just think in this rare case, maybe the ETB cases are probably smarter overall. I love the way the Obsidian Flames ETBs look. It's one of the best, aside from 151, ETBs we've seen in a long time. It's phenomenal. Okay, moving forward, finally, we have Pokemon 151. Oh my god, is this a set? Holy goodness. Okay, you've got Snorlax promos that are trending for nothing right now, but I think that's going to change at some point. I've got my stack of mine here. The Snorlax promo is phenomenal. It's just like the OG games where Snorlax is blocking the road. It's got Pidgey on there. It's got a Diglett down below. Like, hey, fatty, move out the way. Like, Snorlax is sick. This is a great card. Then you've got the Mewtwo promo. You got the Mewtwo promo, looks very cool, very nice, very flashy. You get that in the UPC. You've got the gold card. Man, this thing is heavy as heck. Worth its weight in gold. Not really. We've got the nice, beautiful metal promo here. Love this card. And then I actually like that we got this in the UPC because it's super cheap. It's very easy to get your hands on. Everybody can enjoy a beautiful Mew promo. But I actually like that, unlike the Japanese booster box, we get these in every single UPCs. You can get UPCs on TikTok right now for $70, $65 if you have a coupon. These deals are blowing my mind, right? Because 151, I was paying $112 a box for 151 when it came out. I didn't care. I had to have it. I had to open it. I had to be one of the first. I enjoyed it so much. I have zero regrets on it. And I will say with a lot of other stuff, there's definitely some aftermath and some buyer's remorse of like, wow, and like opening a lot of product, it can take its toll on you, especially when you don't get anything. But with 151, I was very rewarded. I got all the cards I needed. We are short 2 cards to complete the set by opening, which when I was at this trade night the other night, everyone was like, dude, you're opening this set. You're getting everything by opening. And I was like, yeah. And that blew people's minds because everyone was there trading for different stuff. Commons, uncommons, reverses, hollows, you name it. People were looking for it. So 151, I think it could just continue to maintain that demand no matter what. It's just an awesome set. It's king. It's king of Scarlet and Violet. People are like, you can't say that yet. Scarlet Violet's not over yet. 151's going to remain king. If I like it this much now, I can't imagine that I'm going to like it less, a couple months from now when other sets are coming back and I look back and I'm like, God, the Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard still look so good in this set. Every time I open a UPC, I get $15 back on the promos, and then there's 16 packs, like, for $60. It's just, for a special set, it has done very well for itself. And it's, I think, one of the few special sets that I'm going to tout as being an incredibly good place to park your money. Who God knows what 151 is going to do in the future. If it ends up being a flop like Crown Zenith, great. I don't care. The same way people feel who love Crown Zenith, they'll just keep buying it. They'll love it. But 151 is, it's a risky thing to say because it just came out. It's hard to say that it's going to be a good investment, but the singles have held up very well, and I think the sealed product will hold up very well, particularly Pokemon Center stuff, right, guys? And this goes across the board for all sealed product. Pokemon Center is the way to go. I don't always get the Pokemon Center drops. it is what it is. I don't really care. I think the ETBs are just as nice, but the Pokemon Center, you get a Pokemon Center card and it's stamped. You know, the Pokemon Center, it's stamped on the ETB. You know, it is what it is. If you can get it, fantastic. You've done very well for yourself. You've waited, you've timed it right, great. If you can't get it, there is still going to be plays to made with the regular ETBs. People say that the regular ETBs are going to be dead in the water. I don't believe that. I do not believe with that. I strongly disagree with that. Do I think the Pokemon Center ETBs are going to do far better? Do I think they're going to be a gain on the fly when you want to liquidate? Absolutely. Pokemon Center is going to be way more liquid. But the ETBs are still going to do well long term, especially the ones like Obsidian Flames that have really, really good promos, regardless of whether it's Pokemon Center or not. But yeah, again, the Mew promo from this set, see if it'll focus in on that. This card is absolutely phenomenal. I can't say this and stress it enough, how awesome I think it is that honestly in English, we got a card that didn't have a crazy pull rate. Like, it's modern. I don't even care about the pull rates. I just want the card. And so the fact that I've got stacks of these now from opening 151 UPCs is awesome. And while they have tanked in value for PSA 10 grades, I still think that it's probably worthwhile to grade them in the long run. But who knows? You know, a lot of times we find that raw cards for Modern do just as well as high PSA grades, especially if you think there's any chance it's going to get a 9. Don't waste your money, just keep it raw. So I'm very on the fence right now with whether I'm just going to keep all my stuff raw for selling it, because my raw cards sell very well on eBay. Okay. Moving forward, stop hyping up 151 Orion, even though the TikTok deals are great and the set is phenomenal, and we are still opening it for lives every Wednesday. We've been doing this since September, October, November, December, and now January. So by the end of January, if we don't finish the set, we will have been opening 151 for 5 months. Was it the end of January? Was it the end of September or was it November? We're getting 151. I'm not entirely sure. But okay, Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift, not high pops on Paradox Rift cards. Not getting graded a lot. You know, not on the PSA list of most graded cards. And Paradox Rift is just chilling right now. I think Paradox Rift is a loved set. I think with the past and future style Pokemon, it's a loved set. I think it's really cool. I personally did not want to get caught opening a ton of Paradox Rift. This was one of the sets that I was like, nope. Singles. I'm going to go with singles and pray to God the prices don't tank. I bought a Roaring Moon for like $80. Was very happy with it. It's like settling around that price. And there are channels. I saw a snippet of one yesterday where he was talking about he opened 500, I think, Poke Office. And shout out to Poke Office. He's a great, fantastic channel. Every now and again, I'll watch that stuff. It's one of the few pieces of content that I actually watch. I really like his videos. That and Poke Oz. But anyways, he was talking about that he opened 500 packs of Paradox Rift. 500? Like, geez, I thought I was off the deep end with 151, but somebody opening 500 of Paradox, that's tough. Just to pull the Roaring Moon, which he still hasn't pulled. So I'm very happy with that set, that I opened very little of it, and just ended up buying the singles because that's worked out for me. I would say most times just buy the singles. Even us guys making YouTube videos, streaming, going live, we don't want to spend all of our money, all of our salary, all of our paychecks. We don't want it to all go to cards. It's really for entertainment. It's really for fun. But it's not fun when you open that many packs and still don't get the chase. But yeah, Iron Valiant, Roaring Moon, they're both phenomenal. They look great. They're fantastic alt arts. And I like what they're doing with the set. I think it's a good set overall. I think it's a good looking box. I do have I believe I have a case of Paradox Rift. Yeah, I believe I have a case of Paradox Rift. If I don't, I will plan to get a case of Paradox Rift, but I'm pretty sure I have it because with every set I try and stay on top of it. I try and always buy a case of these sets. In fact, guys, I'm going to interrupt this for a minute because, you know, I would be shocked if I didn't have a case of Paradox Rift because I believe in every set. Scarlet Violet 4. So, November 3rd. So yeah, I want to say SV Base, Poly Evolved, Obsidian, And then, yeah, this would be, and then we had 3.5 with 151. So yeah, this is my case of Paradox Rift. So yeah, I even forgot that I bought a case of Paradox Rift. But yeah, I clearly believe in the set overall, regardless of like, you know, whether I've been opening up a lot of the set or not. Okay, now, last but not least, and Paradox Rift is just too fresh for me to be like, I think this is a really good place to park your money. I think as long as you can get boxes under 80 bucks, I think it's a no-brainer. And just repeating what's happened here with Sword and Shield. Okay, we've got Paldean Fates coming out. I can't say much on this. Shiny Treasures, people are opening the Japanese set, having a lot of fun. There's tons of shinies. I think that this set is going to be sick. The Gardevoir is absolutely phenomenal. I've got a Gardevoir card right here that's just a regular holo that I've been staring at. I need to put it in my Chilling Rain binder. I opened a Chilling Rain pack from my Heavy Hitters box, but Gardevoir is a sick Pokemon. People love Gardevoir and they love Mew. So you've got Gardevoir, Mew, and Charizard in there, which I am not a fan of the Charizard card in Paldean Fates or Shiny Treasure EX. But I think this set's going to do really well. It is a special set. It's really hard to say what the special sets are going to do. Am I going to open it? Am I going to binder it? Absolutely. I'm trying to stay on top of that with every set we do now. Long term, what do I think about it? I think that Japanese 151 and Japanese Shiny Treasure EX are probably going to do a lot better than English. Am I still going to primarily invest in English? Yes. I bought a couple TikTok UPCs, mainly the UPCs because you get a lot of packs and you get those promos, and I think those promos are going to be more sought after down the road. If we look at what's happening with Charizard UPC, that was a terrible UPC, and people, I mean, great promos, but just terrible quality of the cut, and just people were dumping them. So if we can see Charizard UPC now trending up, then the 151 UPC should do very, very well because it's got beautiful cards in it. They are well cut. The quality is good. So for me, I'm going to be investing in English still, even though those UPCs are going to take up a lot of space. The reason I like Japanese is because it has booster boxes that are slim, and you can stack a bunch of those. So storage-wise, it's a no-brainer. It makes way more sense to buy the Japanese as far as that goes. The same will probably be said of Shiny Treasure EX, even though I don't think Shiny Treasure EX has booster boxes. I'm not entirely sure on that. But anyways, Shiny Treasure EX, it's anybody's guess what's going to happen with Shiny Treasure EX and Paldean Fates. But am I excited? Absolutely. You should be excited too. The Mew looks cute. It looks cute. It looks derpy. Really more excited about the Gardevoir. So that'll be a fun set to open up. But we've got a while to go till the end of January. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. If you like the video, let me know. And let me know what sets that you think are contrarian or good value to invest in. What's going on, baby girl? Yeah, it's time to spend some time with my family. So anyways, that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a fantastic day. We've got a mystery mail day if something else doesn't come up, coming up tomorrow. So I'm excited to unveil another piece of my collection addiction. Yeah, of course it's an addiction. Hi, baby. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a great day. Peace.